In Cypress, what runs after what? Plugins, commands, hooks, tests? In this video, you are going to learn about sequence of events happening when you run a Cypress test suite. First, we need to create a mental model of what is happening during the Cypress startup and what is happening later when we run some tests. There are several parts and they could be compared to the pedestrian traffic light. First, you arrive and register your desire to cross by pressing a button. Then you wait for the light to turn green, and only then you make a first step and fully cross the street. In Cypress terms, it will be opening Cypress and registering or running the plugins, registering custom commands and global hooks, running tests and local hooks. Enough! Please show me the code! Now we have a test and it means we are ready to learn. If you didn't quite get what happened, go and check out this video. It has a much slower pace and show a process of creating first test in more details. Let's start with plugins. During the startup, Cypress reads, registers and runs some of the plugins that you have. Let me prove it to you by creating a little plugin that is going to run some code before running any tests. If I add a little before run event listener, it should fire when I run Cypress tests. To be sure that it runs, I will say hi and will write it into the event.txt file. I also want to demo this code using Cypress open command to be sure that no tests were executed. Unfortunately, the documentation says that I need to add an experimental flag. Magic time. I have a flag, yay! Look at my file system, there is no event.txt file here. Now, if I open the Cypress, you could see that event.txt appeared and my phrase is there. But I didn't run any tests. This proves to me that my hypothesis that plugins run and execute before any tests were correct. Another important thing to mention, I deliberately used the file system interaction here. Why is this significant? I wanted to show that in the plugins, you could write a JavaScript code that will be executed by NodeJS. When your tests are executed, they are controlled by the Cypress framework, so you will not, generally speaking, be able to run anything that is not Cypress. By giving you access to Node.js, plugins give you unlimited power! So you will have an ability to do things like fetching secrets from AWS or Azure Cloud, deleting or renaming old test artifacts like screenshots or videos, connecting to the browser standard or error output, and many more. Now we learn something about plugins. Short summary of why and when you want to use them is run something before any tests or execute Node.js code. Time to wait for the green light. If I navigate to the support folder and open the e2e.js file, you will see that at the top it says that it's loaded automatically before your test files. Let's prove it. If I copy the same code that I had in the plugins and put it here, when I try to run it, you can see that Cypress is not happy. I remember, we are not in plugins, so we must use commands from Cypress framework. Okay, let's try Cypress log command and see if it works. Oh no, it doesn't work again. What do I do? It is time to learn about hooks. Let's Google Cypress hooks and go here, and then we find hooks. We could see that Cypress is built on top of Mocha framework, so it has hooks available from Mocha. Let's try to put code that previously crashed into the before hook. And now it works. Now we know that this file runs, but we're still not quite sure if the order of events is correct. We will find it out very soon. Time to start crossing the street. Let's add this same Cypress command to the test itself. And maybe I want to also change the URL here. I'll give it number 2. If I run this test, it gives me the first log and the second log that runs later. Good. Remember that we had 4 different types of hooks. So let's play a little bit more with them to show how they affect a sequence of events. Maybe I add all 4 of them here, and I have 2, 3, 4, 5 with the prefix global. And also in the test, I will add all 4 of them. If I run my test now, you will very visually see how the order of events is happening. You can see that global hooks were registered first, so they treat it in the first come first served manner. You see the global 2 is running first before the local 2. So they run before alls, all before each, then the test itself, and then after each and after all. And now you know the order of events in Cypress. To sum it up, on the high level, plugins, then end-to-end.js, then your test file. On lower level, it's controlled by hooks and quite obvious from their name. And because you are interested in test automation, this video will be useful for you as well. See you next time.